Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Stuart Dalgleish. As the General Manager of Community Services and Protective Services, and on behalf of the City of Calgary, it is my pleasure to welcome you today as we celebrate the start of construction on the new Rocky Ridge Recreation Facility. Today marks a significant milestone for all of us involved with this project, and most importantly for the Calgarians who call this area of the city home. Celebrating with us today is, just to my right, His Worship Mayor Naheed Nenshi, and Councillors Ward Sutherland and Joe Maglioka, representing Wards 1 and 2 respectively. The support provided by our City Council has been vital to moving the development of this city facility forward and in enabling us to secure key sources of funding, including the Community Recreation Levy and the Community Investment Fund. We also received significant funding from the province through the Municipal Sustainability Initiative. Unfortunately, a representative from the province couldn't be here today, but we wish to thank our provincial government funding partners for their support. This facility is a culmination of the efforts and support of everyone gathered today. We would simply not be standing here if not for the various partners, stakeholders, and supporters who have worked together so this facility will become real. From the YMCA Calgary, who will operate this facility, to the Calgary Public Library, who together with the YMCA will deliver the best programs and services at this facility, to numerous other contributors and partners, including the Northwest Community Advisory Group, Sport Calgary, the Calgary Arts Development Authority, Nature Calgary, Calgary Aboriginal Urban Affairs Committee, Bison Historical Services, and the city's project team. This facility truly reflects what can be accomplished when we work together. I also want to acknowledge the many citizens and community leaders who played an important role in telling us what mattered most for this facility. Thanks to the input gathered through extensive public engagement and research, we have been able to determine the best list of amenities to ensure the Rocky Ridge facility is a place where the sport, recreation, leisure, arts, and cultural needs of the community will be met for many years to come. GEC Architecture, the firm leading construction of this facility, has taken the input and aspirations of the community and incorporated those into the design and functionality of the space. Their innovative design has already received recognition through a 2013 Mayor's Urban Design Award for City Edge Development, and we look forward to seeing their work come to fruition during the course of construction. When the facility opens to the public in 2017, it will be a true community hub that brings together people of all ages, abilities, and interests and offers them opportunities and activities that can help enhance their health, their well-being, and to connect as a community. One facility, program, and service at a time, we are building stronger communities and meeting our growing city's need for access to recreation and other programs and services. Thank you again for your valuable contributions to the Rocky Ridge Recreation Facility and for celebrating with us today. Ward 1 Councillor Sutherland would now like to say a few words. Please join me in welcoming Councillor Sutherland.
Thanks. Thank you, Stuart. I am excited. I've lived in Rocky Ridge for 19 years now. This has been a long time waiting for many of the residents in Rocky Ridge, Royal Oak, Edgemont, and Tuscany, all the surrounding areas. And in 3 years, we're going to be able to use this facility in Q3 of 2017. It's going to be state-of-the-art of the community. It will be a hub for our community. It'll be a meeting place where we're going to have arts, sports, and all different activities. And I'm really excited about using it. I'm a 5-minute walk away. So I'm very, very excited about it. It's a great day. Thank you so much for all the volunteers, for all the people that I've met on numerous occasions over the years to make this happen, and all the teams at Calgary to make this happen. I'd like to link in a collateral thing, and that's the Tuscany LRT station, because people will be able to use the bus loop to come up and use this facility. We just got our numbers in for the LRT station in Tuscany, and they are amazing. 11,000 people use it daily. The projection was 9,000, so it was amazing. Now, besides that 11,000, some amazing facts. 36% are taking the bus, 26% are getting dropped off, and 25% are walking. So that's over 80% not taking a car. That's over 2,000 more people, and overall a 10% increase of 1,100 people now taking the transit instead of a car. It's an amazing accomplishment. I'm very excited about it, and this bus will loop right to this recreation center, so even better transportation. It just shows when it's in the right place, the right time, people will use it, and I think with this rec center, that's exactly what's going to happen. And thank you so much again for all the work. We truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you. And I didn't know I was speaking today, but it's great. Welcome to Ward 2, and we're really excited about having this rec center here in Ward 2 and sharing it with Ward 1 and all the other rest of the Calgarians here in the Northwest. We're really looking to appreciate it, and for thank you for everybody you did, and also my predecessor, Gord Lowe, who had the ball going here a few years ago. I'd like to thank him too. Well, thank you very much, and can't wait to Q3 of 17. Thank you. Oh,
We're just taking your job, Stuart. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. That, of course, was Councillor Joe Maglioka, your councillor for Ward 2. So really, I'm very excited to be here today. When I was first elected, one of our biggest goals was to fund not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 recreation centers for the city that was so desperately in need of more recreation space. It wasn't easy. Our first plan to fund these recreation centers fell through, as many of you know, when the federal government pulled its commitment to build these recreation centers at the very, very, very last second. But we regrouped, we figured out what to do, and we created the Community Investment Fund. The Community Investment Fund is something that I am tremendously proud of. A fund that is building 4 recreation centers, 4 branches of the Calgary Public Library, that is doing life cycle maintenance on existing recreation and parks facilities across the city, and that is buying personal protective equipment for our first responders. The reason I mention that today is because it was not uncontroversial. Well, let's say the media thought it was not uncontroversial to create the Community Investment Fund. Certainly, folks in the provincial government did not think it was uncontroversial to create the Community Investment Fund. You've heard that term tax room. Well, that's what this is. That's what this is. You know, even some folks on my council who don't like the use of tax room, but it's got to be done because we need the ability to fund resources that people need, including these 4 rec centers. And I'm very pleased that council agreed to do that in order to build this facility. This is the 3rd of 4 facilities to break ground. I feel like I've put on a lot of hard hats and stood in front of a lot of backhoes, and they never let me drive them. I don't understand why. But I'm thrilled to do this. But as much as I'd love to take all the credit, something like this doesn't happen without a lot of partners working to make it happen. You're going to hear today, I think, from the YMCA Calgary and the Calgary Public Library. Thank you both for being here today. Working with partners like this really makes the delivery of these facilities possible. The YMCA in particular went through a pretty rigorous competitive bid process to be chosen as the operator of this facility, and we could not have chosen better. So I'm very, very happy about that. But I want to say something about the people of this community. The Northwest Community Advisory Group, we need to come up with better names for these things. Oh, the NCAG, which of course is entirely volunteers, has been absolutely crucial to make sure this thing got built, that they kept the fire on us to build it, and that the facilities within this facility will meet the sport, recreation, and leisure needs of the surrounding communities. We could not have done this without them. They've guided us, they've provided the voice of the community, and we love that they are advocates for their community every day. So Paul Sinclair is here with us today, the Northwest resident who has helped lead that group, and I want to recognize Paul and everybody in the group for the great work they do. Give us a wave if you're a member of that terribly named group. Thank you for all that you do. Now, investing in recreation is crucial, absolutely crucial, for so many reasons. First of all, it's important as a city government that we invest in the sort of things that make a city worth living in, the sort of things that make people smile every day and want to live here and work here and invest here and raise their families here. And investment in sport and investment in recreation is an incredibly important part of that. It's also important for public health. I was listening to someone recently who works for Nike, who said their research shows that kids born today, for the first time since the Industrial Revolution, can expect a lower life expectancy than their parents. And that is entirely due to a decline in physical activity. So informal physical activity like walking to school, I was pleased to launch Mayor Nenshie's Walk Challenge recently. but also formal physical activity in rec centers like this are incredibly important for us. Our goal is that every citizen is able to live a great life, an active life, and a creative life. And this facility, though way behind where I would have liked to have seen it built, is important for all of us in the community to be able to do that, and it will serve Calgary for generations to come. So, let's tell you what's going to be in here, shall we? The new Rocky Ridge Recreation Facility has so much to offer. Here's a small list. 2 ice rinks, sport pool and leisure pool. I don't know what the difference between those things are. A climbing wall, a gymnasium with 3 full courts, a fitness center, fitness studios, a running track, a theater for the performing arts, an art-making studio, a gallery space, daycare and child minding, an open concept library, I don't know what that is either, and spaces where the community can get together and gather and be in the same place and breathe the same air as their neighbors. That's great. And I want to tell you a little bit about this site. You know, you may think you're on the very corner of the city in sort of this desolate field. Well, you're on the corner of the city in what is now a desolate field. But I want to tell you a little bit more about that. Mountain views, a wetland to the south, and the hill that you see on the northeast corner of the site. Here's something I didn't know. This is actually Calgary's highest point. It is the highest natural hill in the city of Calgary, and it is going to be preserved, and it will maintain, okay, this is a terrible pun. Who wrote this? A crowning feature of this site. Boo. But it is going to be something remarkable. And I never ever speak for the provincial government, but I know that Minister McQueen had wanted to be here today, and given all that we're facing in the city today, was unable to be. But thanks to the provincial government through the Municipal Sustainability Investment Fund and their assistance in helping us reach the goal on building this thing. I can't wait for this thing to be open. And the one thing that I'm going to focus on is, Q317. Faster, faster. That's what I do all the time. But I'm really looking forward to the day when the doors open here and when we finally deliver on our promise to provide outstanding recreation opportunities to the citizens here in Northwest Calgary. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Councillor Maglioka. Thank you, Councillor Sutherland. Thank you for your leadership, your interest and passion for recreation services and other programs in our community and for our residents, and for your support of this project and the project team working on it. It is very much appreciated. We're now going to move on to another really exciting part of our program. Standing next to me are a few community members who look forward to spending time at this facility when it opens. And we're going to have a little bit of interaction here between some of our guests and some of these folks. To commemorate the start of building construction of the Rocky Ridge Recreation Facility, we have a few items to present to each of you to serve as an invitation to return here, please, in 2017, and we'll do it as quickly, Your Worship, as we can, where you can enjoy your favorite sports and hobbies and be a part of this community gathering space. Our first presenter is Colleen Pound from the Calgary Public Library Board, who is presenting to 13-year-old Parker. Parker, this book is to serve as a reminder to you and your community that the Rocky Ridge Library will be an important part of the offerings at this facility when it opens. Thank you, Colleen and Parker. Next, I'd like to ask Helene Weir, the CEO of YMCA Calgary, who is with Serena, a community member who has been involved with YMCA programs for a number of years. This basketball represents one of the many sports citizens will be able to play here at Rocky Ridge. Serena, be sure to come back in 2017 to hit both the indoor and outdoor basketball courts. Thank you, Helene and Serena.
I will.
Now, we have Dave Edmonds, principal architect from the architectural firm of GEC, alongside Sinella. Oh, sorry. Yep, right over here. Thank you. Sinella, a 14-year-old budding young artist from Tuscany. Rocky Ridge will offer more than just recreation, leisure, and sports. It will also offer arts and culture opportunities, such as an artist studio and an open gallery. Sinella, we hope this artist kit will come in handy for your next masterpiece. Perhaps we'll see your artwork on display in the Rocky Ridge Gallery someday. Thank you, Dave and Sinella. Next, Ward 1 Councillor Ward Sutherland is with 16-year-old hockey player Sam. This hockey stick represents the ice amenities at Rocky Ridge, which will include both sport and leisureized surfaces. Sam, perhaps this stick will be with you as you score your first Rocky Ridge goal in 2017.
Taking it away, he wants to be an Oilers player.
That's just not going to work here, is it? Thank you, Councillor Sutherland and Sam. Next, we have Ward 2 Councillor Joe Maglioka with Stacey, an active community member here in the Northwest. Rocky Ridge will have a multitude of health and wellness opportunities for all ages and interests. Stacey, this yoga mat you're receiving today represents the studios where many health and wellness programs such as yoga will be available to the community. Thank you, Councillor Maglioka and Stacey. And last, but certainly not least, His Worship Mayor Naheed has the final presentation to 15-year-old Sterling, a young swimmer, what a great sport, from Edgemont. Whether for recreation or sport, Rocky Ridge's aquatics amenities will be a real draw for Northwest residents. Sterling, we hope this towel comes in handy when swimming here in 2017. And Your Worship?
Thank you. Thanks for being here. You have to hold it out like this.
Thank you, Mayor Nenshi and Sterling. And we're now going to set up for a photo op in front of the excavator behind me. This will mark the end of our formal program. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today to start the start of the construction of the Rocky Ridge Recreation Facility.